Three doors have appeared in your life right now, and the one you choose in the coming days is going to set the direction for everything that follows. But here is what nobody is telling you: one of those doors was made for you, one is a trap disguised as exactly what you want, and one is a detour that will cost you months before you realize you took the wrong turn. If you are a Leo, you already feel this pulling inside your chest. That restless knowing that something massive is about to shift, but you cannot quite see it clearly yet. You have been standing at this invisible threshold for a while now, haven't you? Feeling like something is ending and something is beginning, but unable to name either one. There is a tension in your days that has nothing to do with stress and everything to do with potential. Like a bow being drawn back before the arrow flies. And maybe that tension is exactly what has been keeping you frozen. Not fear of failure, but fear of transformation. By the end of this video, you are going to see all three doors with absolute clarity. You are going to understand which one leads to your highest path, which one is the trap, and which one is the detour. And more importantly, you are going to understand why the universe placed all three in front of you at the same time. Let us begin. Tip 1. You have been performing a version of yourself that the world rewards but your soul no longer recognizes. And this is the season where the mask finally becomes too heavy to keep wearing. I need you to sit with that for a moment, because I know your first reaction is going to be resistance. Leos are not supposed to be pretending. You are the sign of authentic self-expression, of radiance, of unapologetic presence. And on one level, that is absolutely true. But there is a difference between the version of yourself that you show the world because it gets applause and the version of yourself that exists in those quiet moments when no one is watching. The version that sits alone at the end of the day and feels a strange emptiness despite everything going right on the surface. The version that smiles at compliments while silently wondering if anyone actually sees the real you underneath all the performance. This is not about being fake. You are not fake. But you are tired. You are tired of being the strong one. You are tired of being the entertaining one. You are tired of being the one who always has to hold the room together, who always has to light up the space, who always has to make everyone else feel comfortable and inspired and alive while quietly running on fumes. Somewhere along the way, the gift became the cage. The very qualities that make you magnificent, your warmth, your generosity, your ability to command attention and lift people up, those qualities became obligations rather than expressions. You stopped radiating because it felt good and started radiating because it was expected. And that shift, that subtle but devastating shift from expression to obligation, has been draining you in ways you may not have fully acknowledged until right now. Here is what is happening energetically. The universe is no longer accepting the performed version of you. It is demanding the real one. And that demand is going to show up in very practical ways over the coming weeks. You are going to find that the things that used to work, the social strategies, the carefully crafted image, the way you manage other people's perceptions of you, those things are going to start breaking down. Not because you are failing, but because the universe is dismantling the scaffolding so you can see what the building actually looks like underneath. And what it looks like is beautiful. What it looks like is raw and honest and imperfect and deeply, profoundly human. But it does not look like the polished version you have been presenting, and that is going to feel vulnerable in a way that Leos are not comfortable with. Vulnerability is not your favorite territory. You would rather be admired from a distance than truly seen up close, because up close there are flaws and doubts and fears and all the messy human things that do not look good on a pedestal. But the pedestal is exactly what is being removed right now. Not to diminish you, but to ground you, to bring you back into contact with the earth, with reality, with the kind of genuine connection that can only happen between two people who are both standing on solid ground rather than one looking up at the other. This is the beginning of a new kind of power for you. Not the power that comes from performing, but the power that comes from being. Not the power of impression, but the power of truth. And it is going to change everything, starting with how you see yourself and radiating outward into every relationship, every project, every dream you are carrying. But first you have to be willing to take the mask off. And I know that is terrifying, but what is on the other side of that terror is something you have been craving for longer than you can remember. The freedom to be loved for who you actually are, not who you pretend to be. Tip 2. One of the three doors in front of you is an old pattern dressed up in new clothing. And if you are not extremely careful, you are going to walk right through it because it looks exactly like the opportunity you have been praying for. This is the trap door. And it is designed specifically for you because the universe knows your weaknesses just as well as it knows your strengths. And one of your weaknesses, one that you rarely talk about and might not even fully recognize in yourself, is your hunger for recognition. Not just any recognition, the specific kind that tells you that you matter, that your presence makes a difference, that without you things would fall apart. That hunger is not vanity. It comes from a much deeper place, a place that formed early in your life when you learned that love was conditional on performance. That attention had to be earned, that your worth was not inherent but was something you had to prove over and over every single day. And so you developed this extraordinary ability to shine, to perform, to be whatever the situation required in order to receive the validation you needed. But here is the problem. That hunger never gets satisfied. No matter how much recognition you receive, it never quite fills the hole because the hole was not created by a lack of recognition. It was created by a lack of unconditional acceptance. And no amount of external applause can heal an internal wound. So when this door appears, and it is going to appear soon if it has not already, it is going to look like the answer. It might be a job offer that comes with a prestigious title and public visibility. It might be a relationship with someone who puts you on the pedestal you secretly crave. It might be an opportunity that promises exactly the kind of attention and admiration that feeds that old hunger. And every cell in your body is going to want to say yes. Your ego is going to light up. Your mind is going to start constructing justifications for why this is different, why this time it is real, why this is the one that will finally make you feel whole. But I need you to pause. I need you to pause and look underneath the glitter. Because the trap is not that the opportunity is bad on the surface. The trap is that it feeds the wound instead of healing it. It perpetuates the cycle of performing for love instead of breaking it. And if you walk through this door, you are going to find yourself 6 months, a year, 2 years from now standing in front of the same 3 doors all over again, having learned nothing, having grown nothing, just more exhausted and more disillusioned than before. So how do you tell the difference between the real door and the trap? Here is the key. The real door does not promise to fill the emptiness. The real door asks you to show up as you are, emptiness and all, and offers to walk beside you while you fill it yourself. The real door does not need you to perform. It does not need you to be impressive or entertaining or larger than life. It needs you to be honest. It needs you to be present. It needs you to be willing to be seen in your imperfection. The trap makes you feel powerful. The real door makes you feel at peace. And those two feelings, power and peace, are very different, even though they can sometimes look alike from the outside. Power is what you feel when the world is responding to your performance. Peace is what you feel when you are no longer performing at all. Choose peace, even if it scares you, even if it does not look as exciting, even if your ego throws a tantrum and tells you that you are settling for less. You are not settling. You are finally reaching for the thing that will actually sustain you, and that has nothing to do with applause and everything to do with truth. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Tip 3. There is a relationship in your life that has quietly become the biggest energy drain you are carrying. And you have been ignoring it because addressing it would force you to admit something you are not ready to admit. I am not going to tell you who this person is because you already know. You have known for a while. You feel it every time you interact with them. That subtle deflation, that almost imperceptible shrinking that happens to your energy the moment you step into their presence. It is not that they are a bad person. It is not that they intend to drain you. In many cases, this person genuinely cares about you. But the dynamic between you has become one-sided in a way that is no longer sustainable, and the part that makes it especially painful is that you are the one who built it that way. You built it by always being the giver, by always being the one who shows up, who initiates, who sacrifices, who puts their own needs second. You did this because giving is how you show love. It is how you prove your value. It is how you keep people close, by making yourself so essential to their well-being that they cannot imagine their life without you. But that is not love. That is a contract. An unspoken, unconscious contract that says, I will give you everything I have, and in return you will need me. And needing you is not the same as loving you. Being essential is not the same as being cherished. And this distinction is becoming impossible to ignore right now because the energy around you is demanding authenticity in all your connections. And this one is built on a foundation of performance and obligation, rather than genuine mutual appreciation. Now here is the part you are not ready to admit. You have stayed in this dynamic not just because you love this person, but because maintaining it feeds your identity. It makes you feel important. It confirms the story you tell yourself about who you are, the generous one, the dependable one, the one who would never walk away. And letting go of that story, even partially, feels like losing a piece of yourself. But that piece is the mask. That piece is the performed version. And as we discussed, the performed version is being dismantled right now, whether you cooperate with the process or not. So what does addressing this look like in practice? It does not necessarily mean ending the relationship. Sometimes it does, but not always. What it always means is having an honest conversation about the imbalance. Telling this person what you need, not what you think they can handle hearing, but what you actually need. Allowing them the dignity of knowing the truth about how you feel, even if it is uncomfortable for both of you, and then observing how they respond, because their response is going to tell you everything you need to know. If they respond with curiosity, with willingness to adjust, with genuine concern for your well-being, then the relationship has the potential to transform into something much healthier and more sustainable. But if they respond with defensiveness, with guilt-tripping, with attempts to make you feel selfish for having needs of your own, then you have your answer. And you need to honor it, even if honoring it means letting go of someone you love. I know that is hard to hear, but carrying a relationship that costs you your authenticity is harder. It just does not look as dramatic because the damage happens slowly, quietly, one small compromise at a time, until one day you look in the mirror and barely recognize the person staring back. Do not let it get to that point. Address it now while you still have the energy and the clarity to do so with grace. Tip 4. There is a financial opportunity approaching that is going to test whether you have truly learned to value substance over spectacle, and the way you handle it is going to reveal exactly where you are in your growth journey. Leos have a complicated relationship with money, and I say that with complete respect. You are not materialistic in the shallow sense of the word. You do not want money for its own sake. You want what money represents: freedom, generosity, the ability to live beautifully and share that beauty with the people you love. There is nothing wrong with that. But there is a shadow side to it that you need to be aware of, and that shadow side is the tendency to make financial decisions based on how they look rather than how they function. The impressive investment rather than the smart one. The generous gesture you cannot actually afford. The lifestyle that broadcasts success while the numbers behind the scenes tell a different story. I am not saying this to shame you. I am saying this because the opportunity that is coming your way is going to arrive in two forms, and only one of them is real. The first form is going to be loud. It is going to be visible. It is going to come with prestige, with the promise of quick returns, with the kind of story you would love to tell at dinner parties. And it is going to be deeply tempting because it feeds that part of you that wants the world to see your success, to know that you have made it, to acknowledge your brilliance. The second form is going to be quiet. It might even seem boring on the surface. It will not come with fanfare or immediate gratification. It will not give you a story to tell, but it will be solid. It will be real. It will be the kind of opportunity that compounds over time, that builds a foundation rather than constructing a facade. And here is where the test lies. Can you choose the quiet one? Can you set aside your ego long enough to make the decision that serves your future self rather than your current image? This is not a small question. This is one of the most significant financial crossroads you have faced in a long time. And the path you choose is going to echo through the next several years of your life. If you choose spectacle, you will get a burst of excitement followed by a slow deflation as the reality fails to match the promise. If you choose substance, you will endure a period of patience followed by a steady, reliable growth that eventually exceeds anything the flashy option could have delivered. I know which one the old you would choose. The question is whether you are ready to be the new you, the one who does not need the world to validate every move, the one who can sit quietly with a good decision and not need anyone else to recognize it as good, the one who understands that true wealth is not about what you can show but about what you can sustain. This is a maturity test, and it is one that many Leos struggle with because your nature craves acknowledgement. But the most powerful version of you, the version that is emerging right now through all of this growth and transformation, that version understands that the best things in life do not need an audience. They just need you showing up consistently, making wise choices, and trusting that the results will speak for themselves when the time is right. Pay attention to what arrives in the coming weeks. Look past the packaging. Feel into the substance and choose accordingly. Your future self will thank you. Tip 5. Your creative fire has been smoldering instead of burning. And this is the moment when you get to choose whether to let it die or fan it back into the blaze it was always meant to be. Every Leo carries a creative force inside them. It is not optional. It is not a hobby. It is a fundamental part of who you are, as essential as breathing, as necessary as the sun that rules your sign. But somewhere along the way, you let the practical demands of life pile on top of it until the flame was reduced to an ember. You told yourself you would get back to it someday. You told yourself that once things settled down, once the bills were handled, once the responsibilities eased up, once the timing was right, you would return to that thing that makes your heart beat faster. But things never settled down. The bills kept coming. The responsibilities multiplied. And someday became a word you used to comfort yourself while the ember got smaller and smaller. Here is what I need you to understand right now. That ember is still alive. But it will not be forever. There is a window, and this is it. The energy surrounding you in this period is specifically designed to reignite your creative passion, but it requires your participation. The universe can open the door, but you have to walk through it. And walking through it does not mean making some grand dramatic gesture. It does not mean quitting your responsibilities or declaring to the world that you are an artist now. It means doing the smallest possible thing today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. Write a single page. Sketch a single image. Play a single song. Cook a meal without a recipe, just intuition and joy. Move your body without purpose, just for the pleasure of being physical and alive. Whatever your creative expression is, whatever form it takes, give it 10 minutes today. Just 10. Because here is the secret that no one tells you about creative energy. It does not respond to grand plans. It responds to consistency. It responds to showing up. It responds to the humble, unglamorous act of doing the work even when you do not feel inspired, even when the result is mediocre, even when your inner critic is screaming that this is pointless and you are wasting your time. That inner critic, by the way, is not trying to protect you. It is trying to keep you small. It is the voice of every person who ever told you to be realistic, to play it safe, to stop dreaming and start conforming. You absorb those messages, and now they play on repeat inside your head every time you reach for something that has no practical justification. But you are a Leo. You were not built for practical justification. You were built for fire, for passion, for the kind of wild, unapologetic self-expression that makes people stop in their tracks and remember what it feels like to be fully alive. And that fire is not a distraction from your real life. It is the core of your real life. Everything else, the career, the finances, the relationships, all of it becomes richer and more meaningful when you are connected to your creative source. Because when your fire is burning, you are not just going through the motions. You are bringing something irreplaceable to every room you enter, every conversation you have, every decision you make. That something is vitality. That something is presence. That something is the unmistakable energy of a person who is genuinely alive, not just existing, not just surviving, but burning with a kind of purpose that cannot be manufactured or performed, can only be lived. And it begins with 10 minutes today. That is all. 10 minutes of doing the thing that makes your soul remember why it chose this life. Tip 6. The people closest to you are going through their own transformations right now, and how you respond to their changes is going to determine whether those relationships deepen or dissolve. This is something that catches a lot of Leos off guard because you are so focused on your own growth and your own path that you sometimes forget that the people around you are evolving too. And their evolution does not always look the way you want it to look. It does not always move in the direction you expected. And it does not always make them easier to be around. Someone in your inner circle is becoming a different person right now. You might have already noticed the signs, the subtle shifts in their priorities, the new interests that seem to come out of nowhere, the opinions that changed without warning, the distance that crept in where there used to be closeness. Your first instinct might be to take it personally, to wonder what you did wrong, to try to pull them back to who they used to be because that version was more comfortable, more predictable, more aligned with the role you had assigned them in your life. But that is not fair to them, and it is not going to work. You cannot hold someone in a version of themselves that they have outgrown any more than someone could hold you in a version of yourself that you have outgrown. Growth demands freedom, and freedom sometimes means watching someone you love become someone you do not fully recognize. This is one of the hardest things about deep relationships. We fall in love with a specific version of someone, and we unconsciously expect that version to remain constant. But no one remains constant. Everyone is always changing, always evolving, always in the process of becoming. And the relationships that survive and thrive are the ones where both people give each other permission to change without losing their connection. What does that look like for you right now? It looks like curiosity instead of judgment. It looks like asking questions instead of making assumptions. It looks like saying, "Tell me about this new thing you are interested in," instead of rolling your eyes and dismissing it. It looks like being genuinely open to the possibility that the person they are becoming might be someone you love even more than the person they were, if you give yourself the chance to know them again. I want to be honest with you though. Not every relationship will survive this period. Some of the people in your life are moving in directions that are fundamentally incompatible with where you are going. And that is not a failure. It is a natural part of life. People come together for seasons and some seasons end. The key is to let them end with grace rather than with resentment. To honor what the relationship was without trying to force it into something it is no longer. To release with love instead of clinging with fear. But for the relationships that are meant to continue, this period is going to deepen them in ways you cannot imagine right now. Because when two people allow each other to transform and choose to stay connected through the transformation, the bond that forms is something entirely different from what existed before. It is not based on habit or convenience or the comfort of familiarity. It is based on a conscious choice to walk together, fully knowing that the person beside you is going to keep changing, and choosing to stay curious, to stay open, to stay present for whoever they are becoming next. That kind of love is rare. It is also the only kind that lasts. Tip 7. There is a version of your future that the universe has been building behind the scenes, and the reason you cannot see it yet is because you keep looking in the wrong direction. You have been staring at the closed doors, fixated on the things that did not work out, replaying the rejections, the missed opportunities, the plans that fell apart, and trying to understand why. And while you have been looking backward, an entire landscape of possibility has been assembling itself right behind you, waiting for you to turn around. This is not a metaphor. This is the literal energetic reality of your life right now. The universe has been rearranging things on your behalf, moving pieces into position, opening pathways you did not know existed, aligning circumstances in ways that your conscious mind could never have orchestrated. But you cannot access any of it while your attention is locked on the past. Let me ask you something directly. What are you still grieving? What loss, what disappointment, what betrayal are you still carrying in your heart as evidence that life is not on your side? I am not asking you to pretend it did not hurt. I am not asking you to slap a positive spin on something genuinely painful. I am asking you to consider the possibility that the pain was not a punishment, that the loss was not a sign of your unworthiness, that the door closed not because you did not deserve what was behind it, but because what was behind it was not big enough for who you are becoming. That is a difficult thing to accept when you are in the middle of the hurt. When the rejection is fresh and the wound is open, the last thing you want to hear is that it happened for a reason. But you are not in the middle of it anymore. You are far enough from it now to start seeing the larger pattern. And the larger pattern, if you are willing to look at it honestly, shows you something remarkable. It shows you that every single door that closed pushed you closer to where you are standing right now. And where you are standing right now is at the threshold of something extraordinary. But you have to turn around to see it. You have to stop staring at what you lost and start looking at what is waiting for you. This requires a specific kind of courage that is different from the courage of action. It is the courage of release. The courage to let go of the story you have been telling yourself about why things did not work out. The courage to stop using past disappointments as evidence for future limitations. The courage to believe, truly believe, that something better is not just possible, but is actively waiting for you to claim it. For a Leo, this is particularly challenging because you have a long memory for slights and disappointments. You do not forget easily. You carry the wounds of the past like trophies of survival, and while that resilience is admirable, it can also become a prison if you never set those trophies down. You can survive without thriving. You can endure without enjoying. You can carry the weight and keep walking. But why would you, when you have the option to set it down and run? This is that moment. The moment where you stop surviving and start living again. Where you stop enduring and start creating. where you put down the heavy bag of past hurts and realize that your hands are finally free to reach for something new. Turn around. Look at what is waiting for you. It is more beautiful than anything you lost, and it has been there this whole time. Tip 8. Your relationship with control is being fundamentally challenged right now, and the degree to which you can surrender to that challenge will determine how quickly you step into the next level of your life. Leos like to be in charge. Not in the aggressive, domineering way that people sometimes assume, but in the quietly orchestrating, always have a plan, never let things get too chaotic kind of way. You like to know what is coming. You like to be prepared. You like to feel that you are steering the ship rather than being tossed around by the waves. And most of the time, that instinct serves you well. It makes you reliable. It makes you capable. It makes you the person everyone turns to in a crisis because they know you will have a plan, a strategy, a way through. But right now, the universe is not asking you to steer. It is asking you to let go of the wheel entirely. And everything inside you is resisting that. Every fiber of your being is screaming that letting go of control is dangerous, irresponsible, foolish. That if you stop managing every detail, everything will fall apart. That the only thing standing between order and chaos in your life is your relentless vigilance. But what if that is not true? What if the truth is that your need for control has actually been preventing something better from arriving? Because here is how it works. When you try to control every outcome, you limit the universe to the range of possibilities that your human mind can imagine. And with all due respect to your human mind, which is brilliant and capable, it is working with limited information. It can only see a fraction of the possibilities that actually exist. It makes plans based on what it knows, and it cannot factor in the opportunities, connections, and synchronicities that it does not know about yet. When you surrender control, you expand the range of possible outcomes to include things your mind never would have imagined on its own. You allow for the element of surprise. You create space for grace to enter the equation. And grace, that invisible force that brings the right thing at the right time in the right way, cannot operate in a life that is completely controlled. It needs gaps. It needs openness. It needs the kind of trust that says, I do not know how this is going to work out, and I am okay with that. This does not mean becoming passive. It does not mean giving up your agency or your responsibility. It means holding your plans loosely, making your best decisions and then releasing your attachment to specific outcomes, doing the work and then trusting that the results will be exactly what they need to be, even if they are not what you planned for. This is surrender, not weakness, not defeat, not giving up. It is the most powerful thing you can do because it aligns you with a force that is infinitely more intelligent and more creative than your individual will. And I know this is scary for you. I know that letting go feels like falling. But what if it is actually flying? What if the thing you have been gripping so tightly is the only thing keeping you on the ground? Think about the areas of your life where you have been exerting the most control. Those are the areas where the biggest breakthroughs are waiting. Not because your efforts were wasted, but because your efforts have brought you to the edge of what control can achieve. The next level requires something different. It requires faith. It requires trust. It requires the kind of deep bone-level surrender that says, I have done my part, and now I release this to something greater than myself. Try it. Even if you can only do it for one day. Even if you have to white-knuckle your way through the first few hours. Just try it. And watch what happens when you create space for the universe to surprise you. What it has in mind is far more magnificent than anything you could have planned on your own. Some people watch. Others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting. It's about moving. Tip 9. You have been measuring your worth by your productivity. And this is the lie that has been slowly poisoning every area of your life without you realizing it. Think about how you feel on a day when you accomplish everything on your list. You feel good. You feel worthy. You feel like you have earned the right to exist, to rest, to take up space. Now think about how you feel on a day when you accomplish nothing. When the plan falls apart, when the energy is not there, when your body or your mind simply refuses to cooperate with your agenda. You feel guilty. You feel ashamed. You feel like you have wasted the day, like you are falling behind, like you do not deserve the rest that your exhausted body is demanding. Do you see the problem? Your sense of self-worth has been tied to your output. And as long as that equation remains in place, you will never ever feel truly at peace. Because there will always be more to do. There will always be a list that is not finished. There will always be another goal to chase, another milestone to hit, another level to reach. And the brief satisfaction of accomplishment fades so quickly that you are already anxious about the next thing before the glow of the last thing has worn off. This is not ambition. This is addiction. And like any addiction, it promises fulfillment while delivering only a temporary relief from the underlying pain. The underlying pain in your case is the belief that you are not enough as you are, that who you are, separate from what you do, is insufficient, that without your achievements, your contributions, your productivity, there would be nothing left worth loving. Where did that belief come from? It does not matter where it came from. What matters is that you see it for what it is, a lie, and that you begin the slow, courageous work of untangling your identity from your output. Because here is what is true. You are not valuable because of what you produce. You are valuable because you exist. Full stop. There is nothing you need to do, achieve, prove, or earn in order to deserve love, rest, joy, and belonging. Those things are your birthright, not rewards for good behavior, not prizes for high performance. Birthrights. And until you internalize that truth, you are going to keep running on a treadmill that goes nowhere, getting faster and faster but never actually arriving because there is no destination. There is no amount of productivity that will ever make you feel enough if the belief underneath says you are not. So this period is asking you to practice something radical. It is asking you to practice being, not doing, not producing, not optimizing, just being. Sitting in a room without an agenda, walking without a destination, breathing without counting, without timing, without turning it into some kind of self-improvement exercise. Just existing, fully present, fully aware, fully at peace with the fact that in this moment, there is nothing you need to do and nothing you need to be other than exactly what you already are. I know that sounds simple. It is not. For someone who has built their entire identity around doing, being feels like drowning. It feels like everything is slipping away. It feels like if you stop moving for even 1 minute, the whole structure of your life will collapse. But it will not. The structure of your life is more resilient than you give it credit for. And the parts of it that would collapse without your constant effort, those are the parts that need to collapse. Because they are not real structures. They are cages. And cages do not protect you. They contain you. Let them fall. And in the space that opens up, you are going to discover something that has been waiting for you your entire life. The knowledge, not just the intellectual understanding but the full-body, deep soul knowing that you are enough, just as you are, right now, without changing a single thing. Tip 10. The third door, the one that is truly yours, is going to announce itself not with fireworks, but with a quiet feeling of rightness that you might almost miss if you are not paying attention. This is the part that confuses a lot of Leos because you are accustomed to big entrances. You expect your destiny to arrive with drama, with fanfare, with unmistakable clarity. You want a spotlight to illuminate the right path, and a choir to confirm you have found it. But that is not how this works. Not this time. The door that is truly yours is going to present itself in an almost ordinary way. It might look like a conversation with someone you have known for years where one sentence shifts everything. It might look like a thought that occurs to you in the middle of a mundane task, a thought so simple and so obvious that you almost dismiss it. It might look like a feeling, not a dramatic epiphany but a gentle settling, like a bone clicking back into place, like a note finding its harmony. And because it is quiet, because it does not demand your attention the way the trapdoor does with its glitter and its promises, you might overlook it entirely. This is why I am telling you now. This is why everything in this video has been leading to this point. I need you to recalibrate your expectations. I need you to stop looking for the biggest, loudest, most impressive option and start paying attention to the one that feels like coming home. Not exciting, not thrilling, not impressive, like coming home. There is a feeling that you get when something is deeply, undeniably right for you. It is not the rush of adrenaline. It is not the buzz of ambition. It is a kind of stillness, a calm, a sense that you have stopped searching and arrived at something that was always there, waiting for you to be ready to see it. It is the absence of striving, the end of performing, the moment where everything in you goes quiet and you know without needing proof or validation or anyone else's opinion that this is it. This is your path. This is what you came here to do, to be, to create, to love. And the strange paradox is that this feeling is available to you right now. Not in the future when conditions are perfect. Not after you have resolved all your issues and healed all your wounds and become the polished, finished version of yourself. Right now, in the middle of the mess, in the uncertainty and the confusion and the imperfection, because the door was never about perfection. It was about authenticity. It was about you showing up exactly as you are, without the mask, without the performance, without the need for anyone else to tell you that your choice is right, and walking through it simply because your heart told you to. Everything we have talked about today has been preparing you for this moment. The mask coming off, the trap being recognized, the draining relationship being addressed, the financial test being met with substance over spectacle, the creative fire being rekindled, the people around you being allowed to change, the past being released, the control being surrendered, the productivity addiction being named. All of it, every single piece, has been clearing the way so you can stand here unburdened and clear-eyed and see the door that has your name on it. Not the one the world expects you to choose. Not the one your ego demands you choose. The one your soul has been whispering about for years, so quietly that you could barely hear it over the noise of everything else. But the noise is dying down now. The distractions are falling away. And in the stillness that remains, you can finally hear it. That whisper. That knowing, that unshakable, undeniable, bone-deep certainty that says, "This way, walk through. I have been waiting for you." Everything you have heard today fits together like pieces of a single puzzle, and now that all the pieces are on the table, I want you to step back and see the whole picture. The 3 doors were never really about choosing a career path or a relationship or a life direction. The 3 doors are about identity. One leads to more of the same. More performing, more seeking validation, more running on the treadmill while the deeper hunger goes unfed. That is the detour. The second door, the trap, offers everything your ego craves in exchange for everything your soul needs. Promises recognition and admiration, and for a while it delivers. But the cost is your authenticity, your peace, and eventually your joy. The third door asks nothing from you except the willingness to be yourself. Not your impressive self. Not your performing self. Just you. Raw and unfinished and gloriously imperfect. And on the other side of that door is a life that does not need a spotlight because it generates its own light. A life where your worth is not determined by your output, where your relationships are built on truth instead of obligation, where your creative fire burns freely and your decisions serve your future instead of your image. That life is not a fantasy. It is right there, right behind that quiet, unassuming door that your soul has been pointing toward this entire time. You have the courage for this. I know you do, because courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision that something matters more than fear. So take the step, not because you have all the answers, not because you feel ready. Take it because the whisper inside you has become impossible to ignore. And you have always known that the only thing standing between you and the life you were born to live is you. You have 2 options after this video. Close it and hope things shift. Or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.